Hello, welcome back to Bored and Confused, where I review shows based on two criteria. One, was I bored? Two, was I confused? Today's show is Still. Still is playing off Broadway. I didn't know anything about the show, but I got an email offering press tickets to see this show, and I thought, great, I will review it for Bored and Confused. The show is just a two-hander starring Melissa Gilbert and Mark Moses. It is written by Lia, I'm going to say Romeo, because I like the way that sounds. And it is one act. It's basically two scenes. One scene takes place in the bar of a hotel. The second scene takes place in a room in the hotel. This is a story about a couple that is reconnecting. And I think the main idea of the play is about, can two people who had a romantic relationship when they were in their 20s reconnect in their 60s? And will that spark still be there? Are they still the same people? Have they changed in a way that will allow them to reconnect, or have they changed in a way that will make it difficult for them to connect? This show feels like a play that I think people in their 60s would really love, because it talks about sex and romance and relationships and politics in your 60s. Now, I am in my 50s, but I found a lot of the things they were talking about really resonated with me. The show is set right now. It's very current. I was actually very surprised how current the show is. It references things that have happened in the very immediate past and that are still occurring right now. The first act takes place in the bar, and it's just the two of them are sitting, enjoying a bottle of wine. There's no staging. And it's a slow burn. It's just them talking and catching up, and as they catch up, we as an audience are learning more about these two people. I felt like I was eavesdropping on a couple having a conversation, but I don't know if it's a couple that I would really eavesdrop on too long. I found myself wandering a little bit, kind of looking, counting the bottles in the set and listening to these people talk. Now, when we get to the second act, that's when the drama amps up, and I was very thankful for that, and then I was fully engaged for the rest of the play. I kind of felt like we could have just started with the second scene in the hotel room where there's drama, and learned all of those things that we learned in the first scene in the second scene, and just done it in one space, just in a hotel room. There's plays that have done this before. Frankie and Johnny and the Claire de Lune. I really enjoyed the performances of Mark and Melissa. They were very truthful, especially in that first scene. In the second scene, when things get a little more dramatic and revelations are coming out and outbursts are happening, it didn't feel quite as truthful in some places, but I think it's because they're navigating the staging and the props and all of that. And I think as the play continues to run, they will be able to find a way to make everything feel as organic as it did in that first scene. So, was I bored? Was I confused? A little bored in that first scene. Second scene, not bored at all. A few confusions with how the dialogue came in and out. I wish the dialogue would have overlapped more, because when people are having an argument, they don't tend to say their line and then wait for the other person to respond. There's a lot of overlap. And so I don't know if that's more for the playwright or for the direction or both, but give me some messy David Mamet overlapping dialogue. Love that, especially because the first scene felt so realistic. There is a slight confusion that happens. The character of Mark is considering going into politics, and he's concerned that something that happened years ago could affect his ability to succeed in politics. And I don't know, it felt kind of quaint with today's political climate to think that something so long ago and so minor could really derail someone's political career. I mean, we see who's getting elected, and there's plenty of reasons to not elect these people, and yet it doesn't seem to be an issue. So that was kind of quaint, and I kind of was like, okay, I don't know if he needs to be this concerned about it as he is. So the stakes weren't as high for me as I think the characters felt they were. And we even get the bonus of getting to hear Melissa Gilbert sing a little song. She has a lovely voice, did not know. I'm not going to explain why that happens. You'll have to go see the play to see why Melissa Gilbert serenades you. Okay, overall, it was a very enjoyable evening of theater. I think people of a certain age will really enjoy that. People who appreciate a slow burn and naturalistic acting will also really love this play. So if this sounds like something that is interesting to you, go to the Sheen Center for Thought and Culture and check out Still. I believe there are tickets to be had at an affordable price, whether it's on Today Tix or Theater Development Fund or wherever you go to buy your tickets. I think you can see this very thoughtful play for a very affordable price. So go check out Still.
Don't bore me, don't confuse me. If you do, then you'll lose me. Don't wanna drift away.